This is the second in a series of videos on TechWeb. TechWeb provides your company with the wireless freedom to access your critical customer data using virtually any touchscreen tablet or smartphone. TechWeb is the latest in web-based solutions by Z-Micro Technologies for the new generation of security professionals. In this second video, we will cover the various account management tools within a customer's account. Let's bring up the same company, ABC Corporation, click on Change, and on the top menu bar there will be an account management menu. Under this menu there will be account profile, which is the same screen, so you can go back to the screen anytime that you want. The contracts, which would be the starting date and expiration dates and various information about each kind of contract the customer has with you. Recurring charges, documents that you may have stored on your server, contact list, as well as the zone list. So let's start out by contracts. This will give you a list of every type of a contract that you have with your customers, warranties, monitoring contracts, service contracts, and so forth. You can add any contract from here as well as change or view or delete, assuming you have security to do so. To view a contract, click on that particular contract and then click on either View or Change button, and that will bring up the information about the contract. The drop-down list will be a list of your valid contract types that you have entered in along, and you can choose from here. Same thing is true for category. And then you select start date as well as an expiration date from the pop-up calendar, and then what the value of the contract is over time. So in this case, if you charge $30 per month or $25 per month for 5 years, you would enter the value of the 5-year contract here. This is useful in the alarm software where you can run a contract report to see what the remaining value of your contracts are. And then any comments about the contract can be entered here as well. You also have access to recurring charges. This gives you a list of every recurring charge being billed to this customer, and again, based upon your security settings, you can add additional recurring charges as well as delete or modify existing ones. Let's take a look at the first charge, which is central station monitoring. And you have a drop down of all the valid types of recurring charges set up in Alarm. You then select the cycle, and when you change the cycles, you'll notice that these amounts get updated automatically as well. If you have an end billing date where this charge is to be billed to a certain date in the future and then stop, you would enter that date here. And then what the monthly charge is, and that will calculate into the cycle charge based upon your cycle. So we change this to $30 a month, and that will change the cycle charge for you. Your cost, taxable. If this is a prorate on the first bill, if you, for example, setting up a new customer's account in TechWeb and you want to prorate the bill, you select yes, and then enter the date, which would normally be today's date but could be a different date that the prorate begins. And when Alarm kicks out the first recurring bill, it will prorate from this date until the end of the date when the next cycle begins automatically. You also may choose what type of billing method the customer will be billed for with this recurring charge. You choose from the same selection that you would have in the Alarm software, and for example, if you're billing them by credit card, you can select the type of credit card, and then you'll have an area to enter in their credit card number, their expiration date on the card, and the zip code of the card as well. Click on Save to save the changes. You'll also notice down here that here we have an example of a lease that starts on a certain date, and for 1 year the customer gets billed at $54 per quarter, and then starting next year their lease rate gets deducted. So if you want to set up automatic changes in a billing rate, you can do this here just as you would in Alarm. TechWeb accommodates various recurring charge information. With TechWeb, you also have access to any customer documents that you have stored on your server in the office. So by clicking on Documents, you will see a list of every document that you have linked this account to, either from within Alarm or from within TechWeb. Imagine being out in the field and having access to every wiring diagram, contract that was scanned in, any information, even audio and video documents, files that you may have stored on your server related to this customer. You can link to that customer's account and then actually view it from within TechWeb. As long as your mobile device has the ability to view that document, then you'll be able to do so in TechWeb. For example, if you're using an iPad, iPads can view PDF documents. It can also take Excel spreadsheets and view them, as well as video and audio formats. You can also have JPEG images and have those images displayed as well. So for example, here we have a contract that was scanned in for a customer, and we click on it, and it will go ahead and show you on the bottom that that contract has now been loaded. Click on it, and it will bring up that contract within your PDF viewer. And now, exactly as you would see the PDF, you will see this on your mobile device. Another example, if we have a proposal in pursuit and we save that proposal as a PDF, we can attach that to the customer's account, and by clicking on it, we can now go down the bottom and same thing, bring up that proposal, scroll through it. So basically any kind of a document or audio or video file or JPEG that you want to store, you can put into the customer's account and then view it within TechWeb. You also have complete control based upon your security settings on the emergency contact list for this customer. While you're out in the field, you can actually go in, and if you want to, you can add additional emergency contacts when the customer tells you who they want contacted. You can make modifications and so forth. So let's go in and take a look at one of the emergency contacts. And you'll see that there are phone labels. These labels are the same as what you would have entered into Alarm as your valid types of phone labels. So you select for each phone what type of a phone it is, phone numbers, extensions, their name, password, email address, and so forth. When you save this contact, if it's been changed or added, it will internally tag this record with the user ID who is creating this. So if a technician has entered this information in, that technician's ID has been internally tagged so that you have some kind of accountability as to who has made changes. Also in Alarm, it will take this information, and when you go to send out a central station notice, email to the central station, it will now have the additional and changed contact information on that notice. If you made the changes, click on Save. This contact list can also be a list of access users. You can have up to 999 different contacts for this customer, both as emergency contacts, authorities, as well as access users. To access the customer zone list, click on Zone List, and you will have a list of every zone set up at the customer's account. To add additional zones, just click on the Insert button, again assuming that you have security to do so, or we can go in and we can change an existing zone. In this case, we also have the ability to enter the IP address. So if a zone is a monitored zone, it is a video surveillance zone, for example, and it's an IP addressable device, you can enter the IP address here, and then you'll notice that on the bottom it's a clickable link. If this device can be viewed from your mobile device, simply by clicking on the IP listed, it will launch the device's web browser, and you can view, in this case, that video surveillance right from your mobile device by clicking on this link. In the next video, we will cover the various historical information that you can access for each customer, including the service history, invoice history, equipment installed, their support history, as well as the alarm signal events. For additional information on TechWeb, visit our website at www.z-microtech.com.